People who claim to be self-aware either don't know what they're talking about or are just straight up lying. To be self-aware, to be like genuinely self-aware, to know yourself to the deepest points, you have to question your morals, your boundaries every day until you have no more questions to ask, to leave no stone unturned, no trace unfollowed, and then eventually you will know who you actually are. But that's not possible, and that's kind of the point, we're human. We were given consciousness, but not enough of an understanding over it to fully comprehend what it even is. You will never know yourself fully, and if you really try to go down that path, you'll probably drive yourself insane trying. There's so many layers and layers to your being that you will dig through infinitely until you run out of shovels. I personally found myself a victim of not taking my own advice recently. Maybe self-awareness is a topic too heavy for me to handle so soon, but I'm gonna try my best. This video has gone through 3 different iterations, this one being the 4th. The first time, I found myself disagreeing with what I had initially believed. Upon further questioning of my own points, I found that it didn't feel true to me. So I tried again. The second time, I couldn't figure out what it was that I wanted to say. I'd speak and then take it back, and then I'd speak and then take it back, taking frequent breaks to try and collect my thoughts, just to lose them the moment I started speaking. So the third time, I just spoke. No script, no like pauses to think, just straight stream of consciousness. And that just ended up sounding like incoherent rambling. I'm not sure if rambling is really a good sign of my mental, but I've since recovered. Now, let me take it back to my first attempt, right? My first iteration. The main point of contention I had was when I spoke on how deep self-awareness goes. I said, you'll keep digging and digging until you run out of shovels. You might notice I said that earlier in the video, but I'll get back to that. I thought that this was untrue, that people should strive to uncover every stone in their minds, to question every thought and decision like a doctor trying to diagnose a patient, constantly looking for what you could have missed. So in my preceding attempts, I found myself doing exactly what I had initially warned against. I had ran out of shovels and I had just trapped myself in a loop of overthinking. So this is the 4th iteration. And if you couldn't tell, I've returned to the original script from the first because it turns out I was right the first time. So going with that, keep it below like neck level, you know what I mean? Know yourself enough to understand your flaws, what needs improvement, bad habits, manners, anger, whatever it is, recognize what it is and why it is. What causes it? What are your triggers? When you talk to people, do you cut them off? Are you obnoxious? Ask people you trust about these things because you might struggle to notice them yourself. Though it is a lot better if you can check yourself at times. Just don't let it take you out of the moment. Though that's only tackling external self-awareness. Although you shouldn't be improving for the opinions of others, you shouldn't become a burden on the lives of others. You know what I mean? Internally, you should really dissect your beliefs. Think, why do I believe this? What other contradicting beliefs are there? Don't be a victim to your own biases. Expand your knowledge and form your own opinions. Critical thinking is it's a diminishing resource nowadays. So I feel I need to urge this point. When it comes to emotion, whenever you feel an emotion, study it. Think, why am I feeling this way? If it's a negative emotion, think, how can I resolve this? Don't let your emotions control your actions, but don't shove them aside either. Recognize them, understand them, and then act accordingly. Being self-aware is a privilege, so if you can, use it. Recognize the flaws within yourself and learn to improve them. If it's something you can't change, then don't worry about it. It's a waste of time to focus on shit you can't change. And most of all, be self-aware enough to know that you are not special. Humility and self-awareness go hand in hand. Don't let the fact that you're self-aware or into self-improvement fool you into believing that you're better than anyone else. Because if you do believe that, chances are you aren't as self-aware as you think. Anyway, my point is that you should be self-aware enough to understand that you are flawed, to understand your privilege, and to understand yourself. Though don't get trapped in a loop of overthinking, running your logic in circles. Being self-aware is great. You should learn to dig deep, to question your own morals and values, but take your time. You don't want to have an existential crisis in the middle of like an exam season or something. And yeah, that's about it. So, amen.